Welcome back. Now in the list settings area, you'll notice that there is a section for global text snippets. And global text snippets are going to be pieces of code that you're going to be putting inside of your emails that you use on a regular basis. So for example, let's say that there is a domain name that you use repeatedly throughout your writing of emails. Well, what you do is you write a snippet for it. And the way that you do that is you designate the snippet, and let's go ahead and write in one now. And so once you add in that snippet, all you need to do is you need to click the add button. Now this snippet will now be available to you inside of your emails so that you will be able to use it. Let's take a look. As we are drafting our email, we would come inside of our text area. We'd then go to the personalize area. And you do that by looking all the way to the right hand side, and you'd click the drop down arrow. You'd scroll down and you look for your snippet. And we'll see the snippet that we created. And then what will happen is when our email is actually sent, our domain name will appear there because we've actually placed the snippet code here inside of our email. What this does is it helps us to save time and effort and to focus on the message of our email. Okay, so with that, thanks, and I will see you in another video. Welcome back. In our list options and our list settings, you'll notice that there is one other section, and it's called the confirmation message section. And you'll recognize that we have already customized our confirmation message when we started putting together the actual list. But if you scroll down, there is actually more that we need to do. And you'll notice here that there is a section for confirmation message settings. Now, Aweber recommends that you use double opt-in because it is the best to make sure that you are going to be able to assure deliverability of your emails. Now, you could choose to turn off your double opt-in confirmation so that the client could actually sign up for your list without having to confirm. And all you need to do is to turn off. Aweber is going to give you a warning, and then you're going to click yes. You could easily toggle that back on by clicking the on button. Now, you can also turn on the confirmation message for the times when you actually import subscribers. And this is going to be the default setting when you get subscriber imports. You can turn that on, or you can toggle it back off. Now, when you go through the import process, Aweber will still give you the opportunity to send a confirmation message when you're going through. Now, there's one more item on this page, and you'll notice that there is the confirmation success page. Now, what some marketers will do is they will actually show their client, when that confirmation email link is clicked, something that they would actually want them to see in order to make a purchase or make a decision. You can actually determine that by putting a URL in this space. Now, there is a default success page, so that when your client actually confirms their acceptance of being on your list, they will be sent to a specific page. You can actually take a look at that page by clicking this link. Now, as you can see, all this page says is thank you for subscribing. So if you wanted to place a commercial message of some kind, or you wanted to make another sale, you can actually customize your thank you page. And you can do that here in this space. Now, one of the advantages of being able to host your own success page is to personalize the page. And what you would do is you would click this button, and then you get the JavaScript code that Aweber gives you in order to place on your page. Aweber will give you the code to place before your header tag, and that code would be here. You'd need to copy all of the code. And if you scroll down the page, Aweber will give you more code. And wherever you want to display the person's name, you would place this HTML code that you're looking at here. Wherever you'd want to place their email address or customize with it, you use this code. Now again, you are going to have to know HTML coding in order to use these scripts. But if you know them, this is a great way of being able to personalize the actual thank you page. Okay, so with that, thanks, and I will see you in another video. Welcome back. Now in this video, we are going to go over the custom field setting, and you'll find it by going to the List Options menu and then clicking Custom Fields. Now a custom fields setting is for each individual list. So for the list that we created, we can create a certain kind of information that Aweber will store and that we can collect on any particular web form that we have when we create one. So for example, we can collect an address, a phone number, and we can create any kind of field that we want based on our business. So in this particular case, we're going to create a custom field that we will use in a later sign up form. Now, one of the things that we can do is we can give our subscribers the opportunity to update this information when they actually go to their subscriber options. So this would allow your subscriber to actually go back, even if they didn't have the opportunity to sign up with their birth date, they could change their subscriber options after the fact. So we'll click Subscriber Update, and then we will click Add. So now what we have is we have a custom field that we'll be able to add to any of our sign-up forms when we create them for a customer's birth date. And we can continue to add fields up to 25. Okay, so with that, thanks, and I will see you in another video. Welcome back. Now in this video, we are going to set up our list automation, and we can do that by going to the List Options menu and then clicking on List Automation. Now, List Automation allows us to move people between lists when certain actions happen. And this is a very easy way for us to be able to segment our list. We can subscribe members to certain lists when they subscribe to a list. We can unsubscribe members from a list when they subscribe to a list. And we can basically control these actions by creating an automation rule. Now you can see the automation rule by clicking the down arrow. And these are all of the automation rules that are available to us. We can unsubscribe a person from this list when they subscribe to a certain list that we already have. We can unsubscribe someone from this list when they unsubscribe from a certain list. We can subscribe someone to this list when they subscribe to another list. And this is a great way of being able to get people onto lists when they take certain actions. Now, creating a rule is as simple as determining which list you want to interact with and then setting the rule. So we can have someone unsubscribe from this list when they become part of a certain list. Now, this will be of particular use to us when we automate the process of putting someone onto our email marketing list when they actually make a purchase. So that if someone is part of the list that we're on, and this happens to be a prospect list or a new introductory customer list, we can have that person removed from that new introductory customer list to a more focused customer list when they purchase a certain product. This allows us to market effectively. And we can do that all inside of our list automation. So once we determine the list interaction, all we do is click the Save Automation rule. And then we have the rule in place. If we decide that we don't like the rule and it isn't working the way we'd like it to work, we can actually go to the Delete button and take the rule out. Okay, so with that, thanks, and I will see you in another video. Welcome back. We are now going to go to the Reports menu, and we are now going to take a look at the settings. And what you'll notice is that the settings are actually the analytics setup. And this will allow you to track your activity to your email. so that you'll be able to tell what kind of email you sent that caused sales, what kind of emails that you sent that caused certain activities. And this is a very good way of getting intelligence on how effective your email is. Now, there are a couple of steps in order to get analytics set up on your site with your email. Now, you'll notice here that step 1, Aweber talks about the premium analytics and the suite of features. And the first thing you're going to need to do is you're going to need to copy this HTML code onto every page that you like to track. So in other words, wherever you want to track activity on your site, you'll need to copy this code and then place it inside of the body tag. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to copy this tag. We're going to right click and we're going to copy. And then we're going to head to our website. Now, Aweber instructs you to put that JavaScript code within the body tags. Now, if you were to use one of the popular web page builders for WordPress, which is OptimizePress, you would put that tracking code in this area where it says after the body tag, and you'd place this here. What you would do then is you would then click Save Settings. Once you did that, it would be time to head back to Aweber. And then you'd click the Continue to Step 2 button. Once you did that, you would want to then write in the web address where you actually placed the analytics code. Once you had the web address, you would click the Add button. Now, Aweber is officially tracking website clicks on the site where you placed the web address. Now, what we want to do within Aweber, and it gives us the opportunity to do, is to track sales, and we can do that by putting in a goal web page. Now, after website clicks, what you'd want to do is you'd want to track sales. So you'd want to place in this space a page where your client has to go one time after they have completed a sale. Now, you'd write in the goal description once you did that. So you'd pick up a page in your website that is a thank you page that your customer would visit one time. So in this case, we might select a download page that your customer would actually visit. And then we take the address of that page and we'd head back to Aweber. And what you do is you'd place the page in the goal page URL. You would describe the goal. And then you would track the particular event inside of Aweber. So you can track sale, CPC, CPM, or a page hit. And you could determine a particular monetary value for the page once it had been hit. So in this particular case, we can track a sale. We can say that the monetary value of hitting that page is $17. And then we can click the Add button. When you're tracking sales, you want to try to get a page that your client will visit one time. In verification with Aweber, if a customer visits this page twice, it will actually be counted twice, and that might throw off your monetary value. So you do want to keep that in mind. Now, one last area that is optional, but you'd want to actually place here, would be making sure that you want your IP address to be ignored in the statistics. And you can do that by finding your own IP address. And if you go to the website, what'smyipaddress.org, you will be able to find out what your IP address is. You can actually place that inside of Aweber. Once you've gathered that IP address and you've written it in, you can actually click Add. And you can add any number of IP addresses that you think will actually throw off your stats if you were visiting the pages where you are actually tracking goals. Okay, so with that, thanks, and I will see you in another video. Welcome back. You are now looking at the Reports tab inside of Aweber, and what you'll notice is that in this Reports tab, if you go to the Reports tab and you go to the Individual Reports link, that'll bring you to the Reports dashboard. And there are two sections of the Reports dashboard. You can look at your account overall, or you can look at the individual statistics for one particular list, which is the one you have enabled in the right-hand corner. Now, if you look at your activity in any particular area, you can look at the data or you can look at it according to individual leads. You can also look at it in detail if you click this link. You can look at your accounts over time, or you can look at it on a particular day, as you can see here. You can do the very same thing by looking at your account in aggregate in the account reports area. Now, if you want to look at the account's revenue and what your email is giving you over time, you are going to need to track activity and set goals. So when we set the analytics or the settings area in the reports tab, you will need to make sure that you are tracking the activity based on revenue goals that you set in the reports settings area. This is how Aweber tracks your revenue inside of your reports, bringing it down to the detail level with individual leads, as well as detail down to the day. But again, if you don't track the revenue from inside of the settings area on each individual page, you will not have any detail for account revenue over time. That is the only way that you're going to be able to get it. Okay, so with that, thanks, and I will see you in another video. Welcome back. We will now look at the sign-up forms, and you can get to the sign-up forms by going to the sign-up forms tab and clicking this link. Now, when you first reach the sign-up forms tab, you can actually click this button, which will take you through a wizard. We're going to go ahead and we're going to click this green button to create our first sign-up form. This is actually going to bring us to a screen where we can actually design our own opt-in form using the templates that you see here, or a plain transparent template, which you'll see here. You'll also notice that there are fields, and you'll notice that we have a field that was created earlier in our custom fields area. So if you wanted to create another custom field, all you need to do is to click this button, create a new field. It's the same field function that we found in the list options. Now, this template builder will allow you to preview each form as you build it, so that if you want to know what your form is actually going to look like, you can click this preview button. Now, if you get this error message, that means then that you have pop-ups blocked, and you'll need to enable them in order to see your preview. Now, in Google Chrome, this will mean going to the right-hand side. You'll need to click this button, and then you'll need to click Always Allow Pop-ups from Aweber, and then click Done. Once you've done that, you can then click the Preview button, and then you'll see your form there. You may still get the message to appear again, but you'll be able to preview your form. When you click the message inside of Aweber, it goes away. Now, each element of your sign-up form has detail that can be changed. For example, you can change the detail in the header by clicking this link, and you'll notice that you can change the background color or the border, and you can even go into some of the advanced options to put in images and to pad some of the margins. And each individual field will have this kind of detail. We can do detail for the body, and you'll notice that you have the same options available. You can look at detail for labels, which in this case would mean you can change the font on the text, make it larger or smaller. You can look at detail on the inputs, which is actually what goes into the text boxes, which you can control again using advanced options. You can actually change the detail on the links. You can also change the detail on the submit button. Now, one thing you'll note about the submit button is when you click the advanced options, you'll notice that Aweber is using a certain button image. If you'd like to use a different button image, or you'd like to use a button image on your page, you can actually do that by putting the address of that button in this link. You can look at detail in the footer area. And once again, you have all of the images that you can actually have available to you, as well as margins and spacing. You can take out elements in your form by going to this top bar. And for example, if we want to see the form without the header, if we want to see it without the footer, if we want to see it without the privacy warning, if we want to see it without powered by Aweber, we can actually do that. And once again, we can always check our preview to see exactly how our form is going to look. We can close out, click the message, and the message goes away. Now to go back to the other menu, we will want to go back and click Form Type, and then that'll bring us to two other aspects of the design of the opt-in form. And you'll notice that this form that we're looking at right now is considered to be an inline form. We can actually look at a different form, and we can look at a popover. And again, we have all of the options available to us in order to change the popover. We can also preview the popover. And we can do that by clicking the preview button. And you'll see how the popover is actually going to look. We can also do a light box. And we can preview the light box to see how that's going to look, which darkens the entire screen and saves your opt-in box so that the visitor can see it. We can also do a pop-up. And once again, this is how your pop-up will look over the page. We can change the width of the overall form. And it can be smaller, or we can actually change it this way also by using the handles. So once you've determined how you want your opt-in form to look, you're going to click Go to Step 2. Now, when we create an individual form for an individual purpose, we'll want to name that form. We can actually do that here in the basic settings. It's quite possible that we'll create a form for this list, but for a different purpose. And we'll be naming that in a different. So we will go ahead and name this form, and we can click Save. Now we are going to stop the video at this point, and we are going to come back, and we're going to finish step 2 of setting up your form. Okay, so with that, thanks, and I will see you in another video.